Audio test number 3. Give it up for audio test number 3. Yeah, there we go. Okay, hopefully my recording settings are good and my audio level's good and all that. That's the problem with taking these super long breaks from recording. I come back and I'm super paranoid that my settings are wrong, or I don't know, I'm rusty on hitting the keys, so I'm gonna fail to hit the key and then I lose the whole recording. Anyway, welcome back to the Minecraft Beta Survival LP. This is episode 17. I know, it's been a couple months. I have been working on some stuff in the meantime that I will tell you about later, but first, here's what I want to do, or at least start in this episode. The most obvious thing... Oh my god, yeah, I don't like this tree. This tree is horrible. So I said it when I was building it, but I was kind of going for like the Lunacraft light tree style. But it just looks like a jester hat, and it's pretty fucking retarded. I really dropped the ball on that one, which is a shame because that took a long time to build. And I think there's even one on the other side hidden. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. So, yeah, I'm basically going to tear that entire thing down and totally redo it in a different style. So that's one thing I want to do. Another thing I want to do, and I already kind of started on it here, and I think I talked about doing this in previous episodes, but I'm not totally happy with the wall. It's a bit boring, it's a bit flat. I added this little like detail here, these are just stairs. So I had an idea recently to seriously improve this wall. It's one very simple thing to add. I have already tested this idea in a creative world, and I know it looks great, so I'm excited to do that. And one other thing I want to do is finally add the dungeon. There's a creeper over here. I just saw him. There he is. He's trying to hide. Yeah, there we go. I forgot you can actually two-hit them in this version. So I was talking about building the dungeon like somewhere over here probably. I think I said it would be like near the tavern so people can just get dragged straight over there when they're causing too much trouble. But I just had a better idea. I think it's a better idea for the dungeon. And I might have mentioned this idea, but what if we had the dungeon underneath the Great Hall? An actual underground dungeon. I was thinking we could dig down here, and this is something we can probably finish in this episode, maybe not all the details. I don't know what details I want inside the dungeon, and I don't think we have iron bars. I think that comes in the next version, unfortunately. You know, it's little things like that that make me question whether this should have been a beta 1.8 survival series instead of 1.7.3. I like 1.7.3, but the adventure update... You know, it has its perks. It really does. Anyway, I was thinking we could dig down here and have like a little staircase. We'll have one on each side and they kind of lead down to the same area. And we'll just have like an underground little dungeon. First, let us sleep. Okay, so this thing that I want to do to the wall is going to take about a double chest worth of cobble. So, I should have checked. Almost certainly, I don't have any cobble left. Cobble, well, I use a lot of cobble, obviously. I am not hopeful for what I'm about to see here. That is empty. No cobble, no cobble, no... Literally no cobble. I think 100% of the cobble I own is right here in my inventory. Okay, so I'm going to save that for later. First, let's do the more tractable thing. I want to start working on this dungeon. Because I think I can go ahead and finish this in one shot pretty much. This should not take a whole lot of time. And I think it's going to be pretty cool. Okay, so probably going to start at least here. Now, do we want it to be a 3x3? Yeah, 3x3 feels, you know, pretty official. Feels important, more important than a little 2x2. I'm hearing a zombie. Is there a zombie trapped? Oh, there's probably a lot of things trapped in there. I don't know. Let's see. This is risky. Nope, there is nothing in here. I totally lit it up. Where the hell is that zombie? This is completely and totally unimportant, but I have to know. Where is the zombie? Where could it possibly be? And what is going on here? What is this? There we go. Now you can actually kind of walk around. It's not much of a walkway. It's one of the failures. It could have been, actually. I have enough space. Just barely running into the wall. And yeah, we are not redoing the wall. That is absolutely positively off the table. Where the fuck is that zombie? Okay, let's go ahead and do the stairs. And, of course, there has to be a cave here, and this is probably where the zombie is. Okay. Well, as usual, I'm just going to ignore that. I'm just going to pretend like that does not exist. And let's do this on the other side. I really hope this aligns. Oh, man. Okay. Who's in here? Where are they? Oh. Oh. Nope, he's not in here. Wow. I guess I'll take this iron. I really don't think I need iron. I probably have more iron than, like, any other resource at this point, but whatever. Okay. That should be exactly correct, and I should go this way, and they should link up. There we go. Perfect. Okay, no, this looks exactly the way I wanted it to look, actually. This looks perfect. I thought this was going to be like a super, super long kind of corridor to have to walk down, but nope. Nope. This is what I wanted. Okay, so these two right here should be the center. And we are going to have to deal with this cave here. Oh, shit. And you know what? I think I'm going to deal with the skeleton right now. Oh, my God. This is fucking unbelievable. What is this? Actually, what am I doing? I have a bow and I have arrows. Ah. Yeah. Okay. Sounds like that's going to be the main annoyance. Okay, that should be it. Nope, that is not quite it. Not quite. And now. Yeah, this looks a lot better. Sweet. Wow, it's dark in here. It is really dark in here. Oh my god, how big is this thing? Let's see, have we been here? We haven't been here. We have definitely not been here. I would have taken all that coal and iron a long time ago. Wow. Well, we've had a nice little cave right under us this whole time. I don't know if I really need coal or iron, but I will keep this in mind. Okay, so you can access the dungeon from either side, and it's going to lead down into the corridor where the actual cells are going to be. So I think I'm basically just going to cover all of this up, especially since I hear a skeleton coming, and I am not interested. I am not interested in that. And we run right into another cave, and my favorite block. Wow, that is really something. Let's see. That sounded like a baby zombie, but it can't be. That isn't possible. I can barely see. I'm getting out of here. Oh, God. I swear I saw a skeleton. I did. Kill the zombie. Nope. Okay. I'll just take care of them both, I guess. That's cool. And another. Great. Okay, this is where they've all been. I think we found our zombies. Goodbye. Okay, so I think the security, I don't know, checkpoint thingy, whatever you want to call it, should probably go right about here. So let's do this. Yeah. So that was a misclick. I didn't mean to place it like that, but honestly, there's something about it. I think I'm good with it. I'm not even mad. Okay. Well, okay, this doesn't look great. Okay, there we go. Fixed. And now we open up into the corridor, which I think should probably be a little bit wider. Oh, no. Oh, no. How much of this do I have to deal with? Oh, God. This sucks. Why do I always run straight into gravel everywhere I go? I cannot avoid gravel. And there always has to be a mountain of it. It can't just be a tiny little patch. It always has to be like this. Well, at least I can do that. Or not. Or just not. Okay, I think this is a decent start. The cells probably aren't going to be that big. And there probably aren't going to be that many, because it's kind of a small village. So, Yeah, I think we can start with this. Okay, I guess the first cell can go here. And they should probably be across from each other, so that one will go here. And I'm forgetting how to make a stick. No, I'm not. No, I am not. Or a lever, I mean. I I definitely know how to make a stick. That I can remember. Okay, it's extremely silly, but I kind of like having the lever with the hinges, so I think I'm going to do that. You know, mossy cobble would be cool. Actually, we have mossy cobble, don't we? Oh my god, I hate to backtrack for the 100th time, but I have to see. You know, it's possible that I used it all up on that village over there. That is very possible. We did not get lucky. Nope. No, we did not. Okay, soon I think I'm going to go hunting for another dungeon because I want some mossy cobble. And then I'm probably going to replace all of this stone. Maybe not all of it, but I'm going to replace at least the floor with cobblestone and probably the walls down here. And then I'm going to throw mossy cobble all over the place. And then this is really going to look like a dungeon that you do not want to be in. Okay, so I want it to be kind of unlit. You know, I just want the light to come from the outside, basically. But I also don't want mobs spawning inside of the dungeon. You know, every time I walk past the library, I can't help but wonder how much cooler this would look if I could use spruce stairs and slabs here instead of oak. I feel like that would look really nice. I like it the way it is. It does look great. I'm actually pretty happy with that design. Usually when I come up with an original design, it looks kind of retarded because I'm not much of a designer, but I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, this should be it. There we go. We now have 6 cells down here, and we probably won't need more than that. So let's go ahead and close these doors up. And yeah. Or, you know, we could leave them open to indicate which ones are unoccupied. The only thing is, though, now that I'm thinking about it, if a mob does spawn in here, we probably want to isolate them in there. So actually, on second thought, let's close all these up. Cool. Yeah, I will definitely have to make a mental note to get some mossy cobble. And we'll replace a lot of the stone, probably most of it. Probably all of it, actually, with cobble. Definitely on the insides here. We want it to be grungy and just terrible looking. Okay. Cool, so I would call that a success. We now have a dungeon right underneath the Great Hall. So, I don't know, I guess they'll be brought up here. They'll be brought here before the king for sentencing, and then taken right down under. So, okay. Nice. I think we can now say this is a proper village. It has a farm, it has a tavern, it has a great hall, it has a dungeon, it has a blacksmith, it has a library, it has a random house. And now that I mentioned this house, we really only have 2 houses, right? We have the farmer's house, which is super fancy for some reason, probably because it's also my house, really. And this is the only other house. You know, presumably the blacksmith lives in there. You know, the king certainly lives in there, and everyone who works directly for the king would live in there. And people can stay up there in the tavern, but I don't know, that's kind of like a temporary thing for people who come in. There aren't many houses for people to, like, actually live in. Like, I know it's a tiny village, but we have to have at least 1 more house, maybe 2. I don't know, that's a thing for another episode. Okay, as I was glancing at the Great Hall, I just realized something. So you may remember from 6 fucking months ago, I actually had this inverted. I had the glass on the inside and the glowstone on the outside, and I said it looked really weird and I should change that. And as you can see, I did. I completely forgot about this, but right after I finished that recording, I went ahead and did this, and that looks so much better. Oh my god, that makes so much more sense, having a sphere of glowstone encased in glass sticking out a little bit just because I think it's kind of cool. This is way better. That's really the way it should have been. Still pretty barren in here, kind of boring. There's not really any detail. In fact, why isn't there carpet? This is a bit of a diversion. I want to get to the other stuff that I mentioned at the beginning, but yeah, why is there no carpet? The thing about carpet is that we need wool, and I don't know if I have enough wool. Okay, I have exactly 1 red wool, and that's actually the wool I had in mind. Let's see. Well, I have 64 white wool, and let's see, how many flowers do I have? How many roses do I have? I saw dandelions. How many roses? Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Oh my god. I have 0 roses anywhere. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna go hunting for roses. Not what I expected to be doing in this episode, but here we are. Let me just see if this works real quick. So, and I have no fucking space for it. Yeah, okay, so that gives 2 dye. Wish it gave a little more. Yeah, these are the only roses I've seen so far. So, don't know if this is going to be enough. I really hate to destroy the natural, just all the natural details like this. Just makes the area feel a lot less interesting, and we have no roses around there. So I would kind of like to plant some, but I really need these right now. So I guess now I'm going to have to go exploring far out looking for roses from some area that I don't plan to inhabit, so I can transport them all over here. Okay, so with these 13 roses, we can get 26, and no, I'm not going to take those roses. I'm not going to do it. I really want to do it, but I'm not going to do it. So we can get 26 red wool plus that one, so we'll have 27. I think we're going to need a bit more than that. Well, I want to see how this looks, so let's just go for it. Let's just go for it. I wonder if a yellow accent would look good. I do wonder that, because we do have plenty of dandelions. And if I'm not mistaken, we also have some yellow wool left over. Yes, we have 37, so actually, screw the dandelions. I think we're good. You know, I probably wouldn't think to use yellow in here if it wasn't for the gold right there. I think that's what saves it. So, let's see. And I do realize we're kind of doing a McDonald's theme here. Maybe this is actually where the Burger King lives. I don't know. I think I'm good with that. Actually, I think I'm okay with that. But I really want to extend it out and finish it before I say for sure. Okay. Let's finish this. I think 4 should be good. There we go. That looks way better. And let's finish the accent and see what we think. There we go, there we go, there we go. Cool. Yeah, this is definitely a lot more interesting. So I also just had an idea. Why don't we have some paintings up here? Because it's not like we're going to have any rooms extending that way for obvious reasons. And you know what? I have everything I need to do this, because I have a crafting bench literally right here. Okay, let's see. How do paintings work? Pretty sure it is just this. Boom. And yeah, let's just start placing. Okay, that is definitely... Nope. Nope. Okay, that's something. But I want to see our options. No, I want to go with the bigger ones. Definitely, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Should probably be up higher, though. There we go, something like that. I don't know why they're all, like, martial arts themed. That's, it's kind of why I didn't like this one, honestly, because, like, why? Why? You know, I like Marcus Aurelius, I like him and all, but his painting is just a little too small for me, I'm afraid. If this was a 3x3, I would be all for it, but nah. You know, honestly, I think some paintings would look good up here. I think we should at least try. Yeah, you know what? I think that's cool. Come on. I have to be honest. I have never been a big fan of this painting. I don't know. It's just... What the hell is going on here? Okay, that's interesting. That actually makes sense, I think. Not right here, necessarily, but if only I could have gotten that over there, I'd be happy. There we go. Sweet. Yeah, I like that. And yes, I see that the torches are off. I think I'm just going to lower this guy. There we go. Nice. You know, that's cool. That is definitely cool. I like that, but we already have a skull. So that one's going to have to go, I'm afraid. I have gotten every single one except the one I'm looking for multiple times. Multiple times each. Oh my god. There's enough space for it, right? I mean, if there is over there, I would think there is here. Oh my fucking god. Finally. Jesus Christ. Why was that so difficult? I've stood here for about 3 full minutes just right-clicking, left-clicking, right-clicking, left-clicking. Oh my god, finally. Okay, so I think that's the last thing I'm going to do in here. I did not plan to work on the Great Hall interior, but I don't regret doing it, because this definitely looks better. You know, every time I see this, though, I can't help but think of McDonald's. It just really... I don't know. If I can, I might try to come up with something better, but for now, I think this is good. So, for the sake of time, I don't think I'm actually going to touch the tree in this episode. I think I'll show you that, but not in an official episode. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, actually. Right now, I want to show you the cool idea I had for the wall. Because, get the fuck out of my way, lamppost. I think you're really going to like it. And I'm excited to implement it because I know how it's going to look, and it is going to look great. I'm going to need these 2 chests. Okay, I think this is everything I'm going to take with me. Let me eat some bread just to be safe. Okay. So I know I had a place down here where I was mining a bunch of cobble. And I think this is the place. This is... I have all these holes in the ceiling. I think I was trying to make a slime farm. I completely forget how that even works, but I'm pretty sure that's what I was doing down here. Well, if this was supposed to be a slime farm, it is not working. So, I think I'm just going to use it to get some cobble. And while I'm mining this cobble, there was a couple things I wanted to talk about. So first off, I think it's actually been like about 6 months since the last beta survival LP, which is kind of crazy. No, not, I mean, it's not kind of crazy. It's completely insane. So if I'm being honest, over the past couple months, I've just not been super motivated to sit down and record. But I've not been totally idle. So, as a lot of you probably know, I recently recreated this old Minecraft clone that was on iOS called Lunacraft. I recreated it for PC, and I used the Unity game engine to do that. So, it is out now. You can find it on lunacraftreborn.com, and I do have a link to that on my channel page. But, I was a bit clueless going into it, honestly. And it turned out okay, but I made some mistakes, let's say, and the performance kind of sucks. So something I've actually been working on over the past 3 weeks or so is a complete rewrite from scratch. Not using any game engine. I'm actually making a custom engine with just C++ and OpenGL, in case you're wondering what I really mean by from scratch. And that has actually been going very smooth, like way smoother than I expected. In 3 or 4 days, I actually had like a basic little demo running, which I'll show you some footage of. And yeah, that wasn't nearly as difficult as I thought it was going to be. So several days ago, I actually started the official project, and I've been working on that. I'm just kind of caught up on the UI stuff right now. I want to get the main menu done first before I do the actual game stuff. But yeah, that has been going super well, so I'm actually really excited for this. So there's a couple reasons I'm completely rewriting Lunacraft. One, the main one, is the performance. Even if I did everything right in Unity, and now I actually know how to do that, but even if I did that, I'm still kind of bottlenecked by Unity and all the stuff Unity does internally, which I can't even start to list out because I don't know 90% of it, and even if I did, that's probably not even like half of what's going on. So, you know, that's the thing about using a commercial game engine is it kind of tries to please everyone. There's a lot going on that doesn't necessarily have to happen, and it's not easy to turn all that stuff off and manage it carefully. And I honestly thought that having to do everything myself would be super, super painful, but I've come to realize it really isn't. I actually really like having control over pretty much everything. It is really nice, knowing that there's almost nothing hidden from me. I can just see what's going on, and, you know, everything's in my control. So as far as just the development goes, that has been really, really nice. But it also means there's not a bunch of bullshit going on. There's almost no overhead. So I'm getting great performance. You know, right now, without any like fancy lighting or whatever, I'm getting like 4,000 FPS, which is a lot to work with. That is a lot of room to work with. So the performance of this rewrite is going to be like infinitely fucking better than the current Unity version. So aside from the base performance, what's nice about having all of that extra room is I can take the game pretty much wherever I want to take it. And that's something I've been really thinking about and wanting to do for a while. So one thing I've been wanting to add is just multiplayer, right? For some reason, I always remember Lunacraft as having multiplayer. Like, I thought I remembered playing it with my cousin, who was also super into the game. And, yeah, no, the game just never had multiplayer. So, that is just totally a false memory. But it should. I feel like that would be a fun... I mean, why not, right? The base game may not, you know, have a whole lot to do, but if you have someone else to play it with, that just makes things so much better. And I keep opening my inventory because my fingers, the way I have my arm positioned right now, my fingers keep going numb. So I keep hitting E on accident without even realizing. But yeah, you know, multiplayer, stairs, different mobs. There were actually earlier versions of Lunacraft that had caves, so that would be really cool to bring back. And also, I noticed that in one of these images, it's actually kind of the main image for the main menu, you can see this big, like, overhanging structure. So it seemed like earlier versions of Lunacraft actually used some 3D version of Pearl and Noise. Or, you know, whatever the hell it used. Wow, we got one row. This is going to take forever. But anyway, those overhanging structures are really the kind of thing that make Minecraft World Generation special. Like, often when I comment on how cool something is, it's some, like, overhanging cliff thing that just... I don't know, there's just something magical about it, and when you're not doing this kind of, like, 3D world generation, when it's just 2D and you're just creating these height maps for the terrain, you know, everything kind of looks the same. You don't really get special structures, and, you know, you can get special structures without going full 3D, but... really, I mean, I should go full 3D, so I want to do that at some point and really make Lunacraft moons look really cool. So that's a fraction of what I want to do. I have this big, like, text file just listing all these ideas I've come up with, and I can't remember half of them, but yeah, there's a lot of things. I just really want to push the game forward, because the base game is not incredibly exciting. It's just kind of the same everywhere. So you basically settle down, build your bases, maybe make some mob farms or whatever, and, you know, there's not much else to do aside from that. So my plan for this rewrite of Lunacraft is the first version I'm going to release is basically going to be identical to the latest Unity version. So that's basically just going to be a replacement for all the work I did in Unity. And then, after that first release, we are really going to start adding cool features, and... I'm basically just going to take the game in whatever direction I want to take it. And that is about all I had to say about that. So yeah, I am rewriting Lunacraft, and it is going to be much, much better this time around. Oh. Nice. Very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah. Oh. Oh. Oh! 10 diamonds. 10 diamonds in a single vein. Wow. That may or may not be a record. Anyway, so aside from Lunacraft, there's one other thing I wanted to mention. So I had an idea recently, well, not recently, a while ago, and also I didn't have the idea, I'm actually stealing it. So there's a bit of a conundrum when it comes to recording these episodes. As you know, in between, there's a lot of work to be done. A lot of boring work that I don't necessarily want to waste time in an official episode with. But at the same time, I hate not recording that, you know, boring work, because you never know what's going to happen. I often find that when I'm doing that work behind the scenes, I'll think of something that I want to mention, and I end up forgetting in the next episode, and, you know, maybe I never remember it again. Or I run out of resources and I have to go collect resources and something happens along the way and I'm like, damn, I wish I would have recorded that. So, you know, I want to record this behind the scenes work, but I don't really want it to be in an official episode because it's, you know, it's boring. But then I remembered this thing that I saw Captain Sparkles do. He did I think it was a modded survival. So what he did was have half episodes. So the main episode would be like 30 minutes long. And then in between episodes, he would do a half episode, which was actually a live stream. And there he would do, you know, all the boring, tedious work that he didn't want to do in an episode. And I think that is a great idea. So I'm going to steal it. So I think what I'm going to start doing is half episode live streams. Soon, as soon as I can, I'm going to do a live stream for episode 17 and a half. And there, I'm going to do all the things that I said I wanted to do. I said I wanted to go find a dungeon so I can get some mossy cobble. That's not necessarily going to be that interesting, but I can do it in a live stream. And at least with a live stream, I get to, you know, interact with you guys and, you know, it's a lot more interesting than just me sitting here trying to find things to say as I'm doing a bunch of boring work. And there goes my pick, and I have not gotten nearly as much cobble as I thought I was going to get. You know, it feels like my inventory is always filling up with cobble until I actually need it to fill up with cobble, and then I just feel like I'm not getting anything, no matter how long I spend. So anyway, yeah, I like this idea of doing half-episode live streams, because then you guys can be with me for pretty much the entire journey of this world. You are not really left out of anything. See, the tree looks a little bit better from over here, but really just this angle. It looks pretty stupid from over there. So yeah, very soon, probably this coming Monday, as long as I can find the time, I think I'll do episode 17 and a half. And we'll go find that dungeon, probably multiple dungeons, get a bunch of mossy cobble. I know we have some roses, but we'll keep running around looking for roses. And, you know, whatever else I can think to do. Oh, also redoing that tree. Yeah. That'll probably be the main event of episode 17 and a half. Why am I in here? What am I doing? I want diamonds. Oh, I have diamonds. What am I doing? And I have wood. I literally could have made the pick while I was down there. I came all the way up here for nothing. Well, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I want to totally finish the wall in this episode, because it's really just the same thing over and over and over. So I think I'll do the fancy design on one side of the wall. And I don't need a double chest of cobble for that. Definitely not. Okay, let me plan this out real quick. Okay, so I only need to build a couple of these guys, and then you will see the vision. And I think it's going to be that. And as part of this, we're actually going to move this out. And we're probably going to move that one out too, I think. Yeah, for the sake of symmetry. Okay, before I totally run out of sunlight, let's try to get down. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so you can probably see what I'm going for here. Okay, so now you can really see the vision. I just wanted to add these things to the wall. And I think it looks best if we move the wall out just by one. Or the top of the wall out. And I think it might also look good, although it's going to require many more stairs if we kind of add these details down here. Let me just fill that in. Right, something like that. This, I think, looks pretty cool. Very simple, kind of obvious, but I've spent so long complaining about how flat and boring this wall is. This is definitely way, way better. So, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and try to finish this just for this side of the whole wall. And then we're going to get to see what it really looks like. And in the half episode live stream, I'll go ahead and finish this wall off. Okay. It is finally time to see my vision for the wall. So, yeah. I need to place some torches down. And in the creative world, I toyed around with like placing some smooth stone up there. Or not smooth stone, whatever the stuff is you make out of smooth stone. I wasn't really happy with it, but I would kind of like some other detail here, so I'm not totally sure about that. But yeah, this is really how I want the wall to look. This is so much cooler than the boring flat crap I had before. So yeah, this is the vision for the wall, and that is what I will do in the half episode live stream. Okay, I've been going for about 3 hours now, so I think it's time to wrap things up. We now have a new design for the outside of the wall, and I don't think I'm going to do anything special in here. I think I'm okay with it being flat in here. Although I will extend it out by 1 up at the top, and that'll probably look a little better. So after that, our wall is going to be way cooler, and I think I can say I'll be happy with it at that point. We also swagged out the inside of the Great Hall just a little bit, and the one thing we did complete is we now have a dungeon. We now have a place to put our imaginary prisoners, so that is nice. So yeah, that is pretty much what I had planned, aside from the tree. I was hoping to do something with that, but I will do that in the half-episode live stream. So this coming Monday, or maybe the day after, depending on exactly when I'm free, we will be redoing that tree. We will be finishing this wall off. We're going to venture out and try to find some more roses and place those around here, because it's nothing but dandelions, and it's a little bit boring. And we'll also look for some dungeons and get some mossy cobble so we can decorate the actual village dungeon. So that is the plan. I don't think I have anything else to say. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.